You know, when most people think of the Mafia, they picture this chaotic world of crime. But what if I told you to look at it a different way? What if it's actually one of the most rigid, demanding, and high-stakes corporate ladders on the entire planet? Yeah, forget resumes and interviews. This is a career where loyalty is your currency, and one wrong move gets you fired permanently. Okay, let's break this whole thing down.
All right, so you've seen the flashy cars, the jewelry, the respect, and you want a piece of it. You want in. But are you really, truly ready for the climb? Because in this line of work, there's no working from home, and let's just say the HR department is a little unconventional. Every single journey has to start at the bottom. And in this world, that means you start as less than nothing. You're not even an intern. You're basically invisible. Your one and only goal is to prove you're even worth noticing.
So your very first job title is hang around. And you should think of it as the world's most intense unpaid internship. You're fetching coffee, you're running out for sandwiches during card games, you're just free labor. But you are being watched, constantly. They're testing your discipline. You talk too much, you miss a cop car just cruising by, that's it. You're gone. End of story.
But hey, if you manage to be the perfect ghost, you actually get a promotion. You're now an associate. Now, you're not in the club yet, you're not a member of the family, but here's the crucial difference. You are finally allowed to make money.
So, what's the job description for an associate? Well, your life is now a hustle. You're running betting books, maybe hijacking a truck every now and then. But here is the single most important rule. A piece of everything you earn goes upstairs. And if the feds happen to grab you, the family owes you nothing. You do your prison time, you keep your mouth shut, and you prove you're worth something more.
And this right here really shows you how intense the pressure is. Let's say you have a fantastic week. You pull in 10 grand. Well, don't start celebrating just yet. $3,000 of that, 30%, goes directly to your sponsor. Not maybe, not when you feel like it. Every single week. You miss a payment, and you might just have a little accident.
So, you've been earning. You've been kicking up your share. Maybe you even did a prison stint and didn't say a word. You've proven you have value. But now comes the most dangerous part of your career so far. The final background check.
After all those years of hard work, you're a senior associate. You're on record with a captain. You're finally being considered for actual membership. But this promotion, it comes with a microscope. Your entire life, past and present, is about to get picked apart. And the requirements to get in? They are completely non-negotiable. First up, your bloodline. You have to be 100% Italian and specifically on your father's side. Then they go through your entire family tree looking for any connection to law enforcement, any rats. And your personal life? A messy fight in a bar, a public affair, any kind of screw-up can sink your whole career right at the finish line.
But if your blood is pure and your record is clean, then you get the call. It's time for your induction. And this isn't just another promotion. It's more like a baptism. This is the absolute point of no return.
And this just perfectly captures the seriousness of this moment. The ceremony is a sacred ritual. You're taken into a dark room, you take an oath, you prick your trigger finger, you let a drop of your blood fall onto a holy card of a saint, and then they set it on fire in your hands. You have just been made.
So, what does being made really mean for you? Well, you're now a soldier, but more importantly, you are untouchable. An associate, a civilian, even a guy from another family cannot lay a hand on you without getting explicit permission from the absolute highest level of the organization. You've got a whole new kind of immunity.
Now, even among the soldiers, there are specialists, and you might get tapped to become an enforcer. You are the organization's terror mechanism. Your job is violence and disposal. It's a vital role, they need you, but it's also a lonely one. Think about it. Nobody wants to hang around the guy who knows where all the bodies are buried, because he's also the guy who knows which construction foundations are being poured next.
So you made it. You survived the streets. But now the game changes completely. You're entering the executive suite. The threats aren't just guns and cops anymore. Now it's politics, quotas, and ambition.
Your next step up is captain, or capo. You're basically a mid-level executive now, managing your own crew of soldiers and associates. And to them, your word is absolute law. But as you can see, you have one primary responsibility. Keep that money flowing up to the boss. You have a quota. And if that cash flow dries up, you get replaced. And in this business, replaced is a nice way of saying executed.
From captain, you could become the underboss. This is the VP of operations. You're the one collecting all the money from the capos, you're settling major disputes, you're the buffer protecting the boss from the day-to-day on the street. You're incredibly powerful. But all that power also puts a giant target on your back for every ambitious captain who wants your job.
And so we reach the top, the final rung on this ladder. It's the job everyone's fighting for, but it's a lonely, paranoid, and really dangerous place to be.
Now, right below the throne, you have two key figures. We've already met the underboss. He's the VP of Ops, the heir apparent. But then you have the Consigliere. He's not in the direct line of succession. He's the trusted advisor, the legal expert who structures the deals. And honestly, he's often the only person alive who can tell the boss he's wrong and survive to see tomorrow. And then at last you become the boss. At this point, you're a ghost. You never touch a gun, you never touch a dollar bill directly. You operate completely through layers and layers of insulation. You sit on the National Commission and you help decide how territory gets divided up, and you give the final word on who lives and who dies.
So here's the bottom line. You have absolute power. You have reached the very, very top of the organization you gave your entire life to. But, as the source material makes brutally clear, there's no golden parachute. There's no retirement party. You stay on that throne until the end.
Which brings us to the final, unavoidable question. After a lifetime of climbing this bloody, ruthless corporate ladder, how does your career end? Well, there are only 3 exit strategies: a hospital bed from old age, if you're lucky, a prison cell for life, or the pavement outside your favorite steakhouse. That was the life you chose. So you have to ask yourself, what does that choice really get you in the end?